Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another impromptu from the Just Saying podcast. And today, as you've seen from the title, we're going to be talking about forgiveness. Um, I've these over the last couple weeks and shit. Um, I ain't been really working on forgiveness or nothing, but I've been dealing with forgiveness in regards of what it actually means. I got a previous episode on forgiveness before, but in that episode, I was only speaking on it from a perspective of it's not reconciliation, and forgiveness is what it is. But I think this is going to kind of piggyback off that and go a little bit deeper because um, I'm seeing forgiveness for what it really is. These retrogrades and all this other goofy shit that happens. It's not goofy. It's not goofy. I'm not saying it to be funny, but these retrogrades and shit, they're having people spin the blocks back and shit, and you know, one of the most recent conversations that I had was somebody was, basically telling me, yeah, I was young and dumb. I made a mistake or whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. And, I didn't realize what I was in. I was like, and that's cool. That's cool. And it was not necessarily a plea, but it was a more of a, reconciliation type thing. Can we start over? Can we, at least be friends, whatever the case may be? I'm like, cool, we can. And in the conversations that we were having, you feel me? It got to a point where uh I ain't gonna say I gave up, but it's like I still to this day don't feel like I have to put the effort into, maintaining or building a friendship with somebody who I was once friends with. And I don't feel that way is because if we stop being friends because of you're the one who now has to build this reality. And in this conversation, it's like the person is looking at they're looking at life like, oh, if you said you forgave me, then we supposed no. It doesn't go back to that. You don't get the me that you had before you did some fuck shit. You get the me that you now have to create out of the shit that you do. And so, because we in 2023, motherfuckers is on some shit. Oh, what kind of man gonna do this? What kind of the emotional trips and the narcissistic traps where they try to pin you back and make you feel bad for the shit. It's like, you said you forgave me. Why are you like? Because I did forgive you. And when you forgive somebody, because a lot of people don't really understand what forgiveness is or know what it truly is, they think it's reconciliation. They think move past the situation. No, forgiveness helps you move forward. It doesn't, you can't just move past some shit because the shit happened. Like we're in a world where we try to tie forgiveness to forgetting, and that's not the same shit. What forgiveness is when you understand why pain was inflicted. You feel me? You understand why pain was inflicted. And then you evaluate that person or you evaluate that circumstance in that situation based off of whether or not you're still the person that would inflict that pain. You feel what I'm saying? So tying it in with this person and the conversations with my pops and shit, like I was able to forgive my pops when I understood why he inflicted the pain. It changed my whole reality. Like, you go from trying to forget the shit, trying to erase it, to actually you can't. That's one thing they don't teach you about forgiveness. You can't forget what the hell happened. You don't just move past it. You numb yourself. They teach you to numb yourself, but they never teach you to understand why that pain was inflicted, because that teaches you to go into understanding the psyche of the person and why they chose to do what they did. And a lot of motherfuckers, for a lot of us, I don't give a fuck why they did what they did. They shouldn't have did it. That's your own ego. And that's why you can't forgive. Because you say shit like, well, love wouldn't disrespect. You base everything in your reality off what you wouldn't do. You feel me? And what you wouldn't do is not necessarily what another motherfucker does in the circumstances. Because we got to remember, relationships catalyze shit out of us. That's all they do. So who you are as a person is going to bring out somebody's insight, their intuition, and their insecurity at the same time. And if they haven't made peace with what that is, they're not going to know what that looks like. Right? So when we are fucked over in a relationship, or when we do the fucking over in a relationship, we want somebody, oh, you got to forgive me. We got to, because, and I started to look at it from the perspective of myself. If I was asking forgiveness for somebody, what would I be asking for? Come on, man, you got to understand that I wasn't in my right mind, or I wasn't here. I was like, I need you to understand why I inflicted the pain on you. So I took that and I had to see it from the other perspective. When it's time to forgive people, We have to understand why they inflicted the pain. And being able to move forward is not a matter of forgiving and deities and all this other shit. It's a matter of, are you still the person that inflicted the pain? Because if you are, I can't fuck with you. And that is the situation I found myself in. This person is still the same person. So it's like, I forgave you. I understand why, but I understand that that pain is still in you. You didn't heal that shit. You feel what I'm saying? You didn't heal that shit. And because you didn't heal that shit, if I fuck with you again, you're liable to do the exact same shit to me again. And at that point, it'll be on my fault. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But it's based off the fact of how we understand forgiveness. You feel me? But before we dive heavy into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_scene_. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com to get all things that are just seen. To all those who tip, donate, and sponsor to the podcast, you are greatly appreciated. To all those who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of the podcast. Not this episode, but the podcast itself. And, the Vibes, Cash App, and PayPal are just fine. Damn, I'll be forgetting this shit when I take breaks. And as always, that's that for this and that's this for that. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to hop into Impromptu Pop Ups. I have no idea what number I'm on. I want to say 28, so it might be 29. Whatever the number is, y'all seen it now because I got the right number. But we're going to hop into Impromptu Pop Ups, forgiveness. And don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the So For Real series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the markets for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So take a quick peek into my world to see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it, and you will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right. Welcome back. And without further ado, let's get started into this. So now this is not going to be a rant of me, trying to bash this person or say, nah, man, fuck that bitch. She shouldn't have done this shit. Or even coming at my pops and saying, yeah, fuck that nigga. He wasn't this and that. Well, y'all kind of already know how I stand with my pops. So, and y'all already know how I am with forgiveness and people. So it was probably never in your mind why it was going to come out like that. But for the newbies here, you feel me? The new people that are coming in, it's like, it's not going to be one of those. But it's a reflective moment because when taking it back to me and my pops, like when we first started like communicating again, like I never harbored the pain because if you read So Frail 1 through 3, you see how I was able to forgive him, right? And it was in my own quest to becoming a man that I was like, damn, nigga, like I got you. I can see why you would do that. I can see why you would not necessarily. I see why you abandon your kids, especially when you don't feel like a man. Because in my entrepreneurial phases, in my phases of life, it was like, nigga, I had those moments when I didn't feel like a man. I'm not giving him an excuse, but I'm able to forgive him because I understand the pain. I understand how he was able to inflict that pain. He wasn't raised with a father. He had no template. He had nothing to build on. If you read So For Real 1 through 3, this is the type of man that I am. You know what I'm saying? Like in context to the culture that I was in and the environment that I was raised in. So from So For Real 1 to So For Real 3, I talk about, of course, being raised in the hood, being raised in an environment that people keep trying to say, oh, this ain't all black men. It is. If it ain't all black men want to strive to be this shit. I happen to be fortunate enough, and it's going to seem contradictory, but I happen to be fortunate enough to be raised in poverty. I happen to be fortunate enough to be raised in the hood around. I happen to be fortunate enough to be raised in the jungles. Simple. And in that, I was able to see, oh, nigga, this is a system that they got put on us. And for us that are raised in the shit, we want to get out. For those not raised in it, they want to get in like some dumbasses. I don't fucking know why. That shit's weird as fuck when you want to get into the shit, when you want to go to the hood. And it's reflective of our music. We keep trying to say, black is monolithic. We need to stop doing that. Well, stop making monolithic music for blackness. You dig what I'm saying? When it comes to us being black, we only have 3 types of music, and art imitates reality. We ain't making regular art. Well, we are, but art imitates reality. And all of the art that we're able to create is based off of gangster shit, violence, sexual shit, you feel me? Or gospel shit. That's it. And those are the only three things that we were allowed to be when we were enslaved. Not slaves, enslaved people. You feel what I'm saying? If you wanted to, like, real niggas got rewarded. Niggas that beat niggas up, Mandingo fighters, they got rewarded. You feel me? The breeders, the motherfuckers who were just fucking all of the women and shit, like, you got rewarded. The women who were laying on their backs, having babies, multiplicities of life, they got rewarded. The people who stayed in the church and didn't bust a grape in a fruit fight, they got rewarded. Fast forward to today, those are the only three types of black people you have. And it's worse. And it's bad. But what I'm saying that for is because when we tie that to our music, right, we only look at the hood. Right? And then looking in the hood, like I said, I come from what they rap about. Right? Some of these niggas that rap about it didn't come from it, but I come from what they rap about. You feel what I'm saying? I remember the big homies and shit. They used to pick which rappers they used to listen to only certain trap rappers because they like them niggas ain't real. They ain't really selling them. I'm like, how the fuck y'all know they ain't really? Because you can tell by how he rap. Like, you can tell when a motherfucker is saying, oh, cook the crack because of somebody told you that this is how crack is cooked. When you can tell a motherfucker who knows that you gotta do, you feel me? They can tell because they were doing it. You feel what I mean? So we have a plethora of black men that want to be this, that ain't this. We have a plethora of people that want to be this, that ain't this. Right? So growing up in that shit, I was able to see, like, yo, nigga, this is a template that they want us all to be. Right? But this is a template that's been going on. So now looking at how my father's situation played out, it's like, bruh, I get you. This was systemized for you to fail. Because it was systemized for me to fail or conform and bend to their will. In the early phases of my life, I conformed and I bent to their will because that's what I was taught to do. They give you these, oh, you're educated, you're this, that, and the third. No. You bent to the will of an oppressor. That's it. Sounds good to be paid. Sounds good to have status. Sounds good to have status amongst oppression, but it doesn't take away the oppression. That's a cold reality. That's a cold reality because now when you realize that anybody who tries to have status in this situation, they have to deviate from certain realities. You feel me? So in hearing my pops and you know, talking to him and shit and realize, oh, you didn't have a chance because the system was set up this way. This is why I'm big on systems. This is why I had to go and break the systems myself and figure them out. Like, wow, these things are really working on us. And it makes us hate the person that the system creates rather than the system itself. You feel what I mean? So dealing with my pop and facing that, I was like, yo, bro, I forgive you. And at the time, everybody who was trying to teach me forgiveness, oh, you got to pray that God remove it from your heart. You got to pray that, you know, you find forgiveness. No, nobody teaches you what forgiveness is. So therefore you can't do it. You can pray to God, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Buddha to take whatever pain away. It was given to you. You can't pray for pain to be taken away when the pain was given to you in the first place. You feel what I'm saying? But we delusionally tell ourselves that because this is what we're programmed and we're conditioned to. So our level of forgiveness is, oh, just forget and numb ourselves to the situation and go back into the pain that hurt us. You feel what I'm saying? Once I began to understand how forgiveness really works, my relationships with people changed. There's relationships with people that say, well, you're not the same. I know you're not going to get that same version of me because I've forgiven you. And I understand the pain that you exhibited, whatever pain. Forgiveness is understanding why pain was inflicted. Because I understand how you are as a person now. I understand why you did what you did to me. But now I have to determine, because now they say after forgiveness, you niggas have to apologize. Apology comes with changed behavior. If you don't, I don't care who you are. Hear me well. I do not care who you are. Apologies are the word I apologize. I'm sorry, whatever. It does not mean shit to me. Because your behavior has to change. Your actions have to change. Because if you really are apologetic and you really are sorry and you want me to forgive you, That means when that means you have acknowledged the pain that you have inflicted on me, and you change that aspect of yourself, and you say, I'm not going to exhibit that. Then you can be back in my space. A lot of people don't want to change that about themselves. When I sought forgiveness for people that I wronged, I came back into your space in a different mentality and a different, I've said, because I can't think the way that I did when I wronged you. In order for you to forgive me, I can no longer think the way that I thought when I wronged you. Because if I do, then I'm going to repeat that action. You dig what I'm saying? Are y'all walking with me? If I repeat, if I, because thought precedes action. So if I still have the same mentality, then I'm going to repeat the same behavior. So me saying I'm sorry does not, it's just to pacify you. And this is why we get fucked up, because it's hard to forgive when you don't even know how to apologize. Give or receive apologies, because now that has a standard in it too. Because we don't look at apology. We think apology is, I'm just sorry. Oh, I apologize. And we say it just for the cliche. We don't realize what an apology really means. It's like, damn, I fucked up. I did some fucked up shit. In order to keep you in my life, I have to change my mind. I have to change my mind. You see what I'm saying? Most people don't want to change their mind, but they still want to be forgiven. Why should I forgive you? How would I forgive you if you still on that same fuck shit? Because now it goes into another level. Because the second time you do this shit, now you betrayed me. And now it's like, oh, well, you knew how I was before. Like when women, I got to use women for this example and shit. But like when women no, I'm going to use people because nigga, we doing it too. But generally, women are the ones that do it. When women take a man back, or when you take a person back who cheated on you and shit, and then they cheat on you again, and you like, damn, that's fucked up. I forget. You didn't forgive them. You didn't forgive them. You bypassed what they did. You tried to forget. You suppressed it. You did not forgive them, because if you forgave them, you would understand why they cheated on you in the first place. When we look, sometimes we look at shit, and because of this English language, because of whatever language, we don't know that we're using the wrong words, but we're using the right ideas. When we want closure, we think, and this is why closure it gets fucked up and sabotaged, because you go over there for closure and end up fucking, because they start to play on your emotions. The purpose of closure, if you're really going to use it right, is to gain forgiveness. But to gain forgiveness, you go for that last moment to understand why you did what you did. You'll never get that closure because a motherfucker is not going to tell you the truth as to why they hurt you in that moment, when they know that there's still a possibility that they can keep you there. I experienced this when I got cheated on. I'm asking her, like, why did you do this? Why did you do this? And it provided me the closure. At the time, I didn't know that this was going to help me forgive her when she said these words. Because she was, one thing that I can give her, despite how fucked up she did me, she was a brutally honest person. She never lied. She told the motherfucking truth when she didn't give a fuck how you felt about the truth that she told. Right. So as we talking, I'm like, yo, why did you do this to me? Like, I need to know why you did this to me. I didn't know why I needed to know, because that's how forgiveness starts. Forgiveness starts when you know why pain was inflicted. We never realize and made that connection. We go for closure and shit, and it's like, but the person lies because they're ashamed of it. These are all things, if you read So Frail through, like when I break down chakras, when I break down personal identity, like I don't just talk about this shit from because I read books. No, I read the books, applied the information, and internalized it, and now I know how to use it. So I understand how all of these conceptualizations really, really work in the world. So when we go into saying, I want closure, what we're saying is, I need to understand why the fuck you did what you did to me. Now, we're in a society that teach you, oh, it doesn't matter. Fuck it. Leave them alone. No, you need to understand, because this is going to not only help you forgive them, but not only help you forgive them, but forgive the energy that was associated with them. You ever wonder why you keep going through the same motherfucking cycle with different people, but the same experience happens? Because you have not forgiven the energy that is tied to, because you don't know why that pain was inflicted. Again, I'm going to tie it back to the women. Women say, when our first breakup happens, when we get that first heartbreak, we don't actually go and try to forgive the person. We get under, they say the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. And now you're going to go fuck with the exact same energy that just fucked you up. You feel me? And it's like, why can't I get it right? Why can't I get it right? Because you're not forgiving. You're not understanding why this pain was inflicted. Therefore, you don't even know when the pain is coming when you see it again. All you gonna say is all these niggas is the same. All these bitches is the same. No, they're not. You're not forgiving the energy that is tied to. Therefore, you keep receiving the messages from that energy. It's just in a different human form. You feel what I'm saying? So as I'm talking to this woman and, she's telling me why she cheated and shit, I'm like, yo, why did she said, deep down inside, I just wanted hood love. In the moment, I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm mad as fuck. I'm like, bitch, you ain't even from the motherfucking hood, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it was deeper than that. It was deeper than that. And the reason why it was deeper than that was because I was originally, like, when we first got together and shit, I was a hood nigga. I was hood as fuck, but I was in college reforming. And I was deviating away from that. And I was becoming more and more like her father and less like the hood nigga that she liked. And the reason why she liked that hood nigga, and as I got to understanding her father, because I provided that level of protection. I told y'all about the story, like we was going to the Chinese restaurant and shit one day, and there was a guy like, yo, let me get $2. I'm like, yo, let's just keep walking. But babe, you got $2. It don't matter. Let's just keep walking, yo. He don't want $2, baby. Let's keep going. But you got, like, chill the fuck out. And pow, pow, he shot twice in the air and shit. And she like, what's he shooting at us? Yes, now keep fucking walking. Like, I'm trying to survey the scene at the same time and keep your ass alive. Keep your ass alive. Let me put a quick tangent in that shit too, because that is, I seen a video about that, and it's like, you're in a situation where as a man, you don't have the luxury of being scared, even if you are. In that moment, she was able to rely on me once the shots got shot in the air, but I still had to rely on myself and my own awareness to say, whew, I got to make sure you are alive. I got to make sure you stay alive. You feel what I'm saying? But that was just a quick tangent just because of the situation. And I want my, brothers to know what's up. But because sometimes we get scared too. So in that situation, my awareness and shit, she was like, yo, that's like, I said, I know you guys, I grew up around shit like this. Like, I knew he didn't want $2. I know he didn't want $2. Like, who the fuck really asked for $2, yo, at nighttime? Come on, he was waiting for me to pull the money out because he saw I was a college student. I said, that's why I came from the situation. So my situational awareness it's always been on point because of the place that I grew up in. But that's the edge that she loved about me. But then as I started to divine, what she didn't realize was that it wasn't a character. It was a piece of who I was. So it wasn't about turning it off. It's always going to be there and it's going to come out. But as time progressed, and, we started going back to church. We started reading more. She started pulling away from me. And the guy that she cheated on me with was a hood nigga. So much so, he was very much like the hood nigga I was when I first got to college. And that's how I said, damn, you inflicted that pain on me because of your father. Now I get it. Niggas like, no, nigga, she was just a foot the person. Exactly. You catalyze a certain relationship out of that person. We was good for a while. You feel me? We was good for a while. And then once that hood side started, like, she suppressed it. Like, you feel me? I remember one day we were sitting, this is when it really got me. We were sitting in her apartment and she was like, can you lock my door or something? Cause we were sitting on the couch. Like, man, you good? Ain't nobody gonna run up in here. She was like, I don't know about that. I was like, damn, did I really get, I said, did I really lose myself that much? And it made me realize, and again, this is tied to religion and shit like this, because as I got deeper into it, the softer I got. I said, damn, she doesn't even accept or appreciate that I could potentially protect. Like, I said, what happened in 2 years? What happened in 2 years to where the same motherfucker that kept the sanity, that kept you balanced, walking to the Chinese restaurant when shots were fired in the air, is the same motherfucker you no longer think can protect you? Forgiveness is a motherfucker because you got to understand why pain is inflicted. And the quest to understanding that pain, there's a lot of layers that come into it. You feel what I'm saying? In getting that, after, and this isn't the person that came back. This is totally different. I'm just speaking on that. I get to that situation, but because that one comes from a different perspective. Because at that time, when me and her I was like, I just reconciled. I was like, I'm not going to tell nobody this. I was in denial to her. Why did you inflict this pain? And it's like, you're going to do it again. If I don't understand why you inflicted the pain on me on the first time, I'm going to allow you to do it again the second time. But I'm just going to keep getting mad. Why do you keep doing this to me? No, why are you not seeing why this person is inflicting pain on you? Better yet, why are you allowing this person to continue to inflict pain on you? Because you don't want to realize what that situation is. Forgiveness is a very powerful thing. It's very powerful. And it's a beautiful thing. But it requires a side of you that you don't want to accept. And that's the side of you that realizes that, oh, maybe I wasn't worthy. No, 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 no. Understand why the fuck this person was able to inflict the pain. Now you have to really understand who you're dealing with. You feel me? Learning to forgive my father, I understood. Oh, nigga, I can't just be mad at you. This system was designed to fuck us up. You feel me? You just fell into the trap because you know what I'm saying? You were supposed to. You feel me? And it played itself out. You know what I mean? Now, there's no excuse. Now that's where the dangerous part comes in, because there's no excuse for you succumbing to the thing that caused you to inflict pain, but you don't even know it because your mindset is that way. You ever realize that you ever take a moment to think that some people don't think that what they did was wrong? No matter how bad you fucked up off of it, no matter how bad you did, and some people can't fathom that what they did was wrong because their mindset is programmed for them to do that action. You feel what I'm saying? If I was raised without a father, my mentality is that men are not in the home. It's not that hard to figure out. And then you can understand why the pain was inflicted and you can decide to change it. Me and my pops, we have a different relationship now because as we talked, he was like, man, I was young. I was just in the third. I didn't know what I was like. Yeah, you can say whatever you want to, but pop, just don't lie. Just don't lie. Like, you know, we almost had a frictional moment because he was like, yeah, man, I didn't know where y'all, nigga, you knew where we was at. Don't do that. I said, don't do that right now. Don't lie. You feel me? Don't lie. Because I know that you knew where we were at because I talked to you when I was 4 years old and I was traumatized for the whole summer because I was looking for a black car. I said, don't do that. Oh, you're right. Let's not. I know this. I said, we're here now. I understand the pain. And because of that, I'm able to, in understanding the pain, when he do lie, I can calm myself down in the moment when I'm getting heated because I'm like, your mentality is, he's a people pleaser too. And a lot of people, he's like, damn, I don't want my kids to continue to see the negative side of me. So people will lie to manipulate the situation in their favor. We be thinking lying is bad, and lying is a learned behavior. It is a mentality. When you're always telling the truth and you get bashed for it, why would you tell the truth? Think about that. Like, we ask some of the dumbest motherfucking questions in this motherfucking world. We be like, why do people lie? What does telling the truth get me? If I tell the truth about health and nutrition, I die. You feel what I'm saying? If I tell the truth about, like, I get hung out to dry. It's like, yo, nobody wants to hear the truth, but you mad when niggas lie. And that's why it's easy to forgive it's hard to forgive a compulsive liar because you're like, I need to know why you're lying because I have been lying all of my life because all of my life, the truth has got me in trouble. And it's been happening so long. I done buried that shit so far back into my mind that I just have to lie now because I have no capacity to tell the truth because anytime I do, this shit happens. You feel what I'm saying? But you got to be able to forgive in order to do that shit. And this is one of the realities that you have to do. You have to see it as for the most part of when I'm focusing on what I have to forgive. It's like we think, oh, you wrong me. No, I don't forget nothing. This is one of the reasons. Really, what I'm about to say now is like you can't forget. Like when they say forgive and forget, nobody can forget anything. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't forgot about. If a motherfucker say they forgot about it, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. And I'm gonna tell you how. You only forget shit that has no significance to you. If a motherfucker wronged you, that shit is stored in your nervous system. And as a motherfucker who does TREs and muscle ringing and knowing and going through the thing, like when I'm in my trauma release moment, I know what energy is now stored in certain parts of my body. I mentioned that in the posture episode, but I know what energy is stored in my body, what memories are stored there. You don't forget that shit. You can try to convince yourself all day long, and that's when you start going insane. Because how do you remember some shit that you forgot? A motherfucker will come to you and say, oh, I don't forgot about that. How you forget about that? And you know what the fuck I'm talking about when I said it. You'll know if a motherfucker really forgot about something because you bring it to them and they like, what are you talking about? You know when it has to come back to them. But a motherfucker said, I forgot about that a long time ago. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You kept suppressing it because it's still there because it fucked with you. It fucked with you. How I know? Because when you get mad, you bring that shit right back up. You know why? Because you didn't forgive it. Because you can't forgive it because you don't even understand why that pain was inflicted in the first place. Sometimes our pain is inflicted sometimes we inflict pain on a motherfucker unintentionally because, like I said, our mentality creates this action for that. And we think this is normal. When I was out here slinging dick all willy nilly and shit, and the women, I was like, no, this is normal behavior. This is what men are supposed to do. And women want this. Women want a man who's been slinging dick all his life, because you know what I'm saying. But I don't want you to be slinging dick right now. No, nigga, if you can't keep up, you got to figure something out. So now when you get cheated on, you think it's you. That's where like a lot of the shit that happens when people do shit to us. This is why it's hard, because we think it's us. Somehow society has convinced us, whether it be the parenting, whether it be the coaches, whatever it is, has convinced us that when you get wronged, it's your fault. You feel what I'm saying? When you're wronged, it's your fault. And the reason why, I'm going to tie it to religion. You may hate it or whatever the case may be. But when you follow an ideology that teaches you to turn the cheek, turn the other cheek, give somebody another cheek to kiss, or love your enemies, you don't realize how sabotaging that shit is to you. So now you can't forgive yourself. Now you internalize shit as something that's wrong with you, when externally motherfuckers have done some dumb shit to you. Why did I make them do this to me? Like in abusive relationships, when women say, "Oh, I must have made him mad. I must have did some shit." Like, no, there's no reason why that nigga should have put his hands on you. But now you have to understand the type of motherfucker you dealing with. In order to forgive that man, it's hard to forgive a motherfucker who abused you and some shit like that. But in order for you have to understand why the pain was inflicted. Some pains are so big you can't. When they say something is unforgivable, this is what this means. I don't give a fuck why that pain was inflicted. Nigga, it shouldn't have been happening. There's a lot of things that have happened to me in my life that are unforgivable. You feel me? I got a homeboy, right? And like, this was my right hand man. Everybody was shocked when we couldn't reconcile. We couldn't be friends again. I said, I can't forget that. Because you jumped my brother on my birthday. Not only that, I was supposed to be the intended target. You was my best fucking friend. You was in my house. You feel what I'm saying? You wore my clothes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of shit that's unforgivable. To this day, me and this motherfucker can't be friends again. And then the motherfuckers that, did get into it, my brother, he beat they motherfucking ass and shit. And so because he did that, and it's like, all right, cool. If he cool with it, I'm cool with it. Because I wasn't really cool with y'all. But this nigga, I can never be friends with him again. That's unforgivable. I don't give, there's no amount of understanding of the pain inflicted that can let me let that go. Because I was your brother too. I saw you as my brother. Like, you feel me? There was moments we would be in school and motherfuckers got beef with him, and I'm standing with him, and it ain't even my beef. You feel what I'm saying? You do that to me, that's a different level of betrayal, and that's unforgivable. So certain things are unforgivable. And now when people tell you shit like, oh, you can't go with that heart. No, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because a part of forgiveness is understanding why pain was inflicted and then making the choice whether or not to fuck with that shit again or to let that shit go. You don't have to. Once I understand why pain was inflicted, I don't have to, because I know this is the type of nigga you are. That's the dark side of forgiveness that they're not going to teach you. The choice that you now have to make, and you can, excuse me, let it go. The choice that you have to make and the choice that you can make once it's done. You dig me? Ain't nobody in that space where they're trying to see that the pain has to go away. Pain don't go away, bro. Pain never goes away. You just have to understand why it hurts. And that's how you learn how to forgive. So in speaking, like I said, fast forwarding into this conversation that sparked this and shit. At this stage in my life, I've already mastered the art of forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? I've already mastered. If you understand, so for real, when I talk about the levels of the mind, when you reach understanding, you can accept or reject. That's a part of forgiveness. Like, I understand why you inflicted the pain on me. I'm not mad at you for inflicting the pain on me no more, but you're not going to inflict the pain on me again. You can't inflict the pain on me again because I know how you are. So like, as me and this person, we were talking and shit. And so the conversation, it was like how we even came about. I think I had liked or commented on somebody's social media, and we followed the mutual people. And so she was like, yo, I've been looking for you, whatever. Again. All right, whatever. So I'm like, all right, she's like, what's your number? Gave her my number. She's like, oh, it's still the same, blah, blah, blah. Hit me up and shit. So no. After I gave her the number, it was like, whatever. So again, forgiveness is a motherfucker, but you start to pay attention to details. So she never hit me up. So I DM'd her and I was like, so you just wanted to get my number to see if you still got it or something? She's like, no, I've been busy, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. So we vibing and shit, we talking and shit. But when we start talking, she's the same person. I hear it in her. I can hear it in her demeanor. I can hear it in everything. I was like, she's the same motherfucker. Same person. So we vibing and we talking this shit, start talking about cliche bullshit. So then she starts talking about, yeah, uh, I I was young, I made a mistake and this, that, and the third. And I just, I want to be friends because I just hope you don't, I know why you inflicted what you did, but now you spinning the block as the same person. This ain't gonna do it. I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell you what I see. You feel me? And I can move accordingly to that. But it's like, and in that same regard, it's just like, well, you don't hit me up. Why? Why would I like you have to you're the one seeking forgiveness, right? I already forgiven you because I understood why you inflicted the pain. And the reason why I understood why she inflicted the pain was because one, it was a long distance thing. I can get that. And the pain wasn't really that on some bad shit. It was just like this is one of the reasons why I always say like women women say that they'll be with a man while he's building until they're actually with a man who's building because they don't know what it takes to actually build. They don't know how long it's going to take. And all they can see is you still building. You feel me? This same person, like as she came, spun the block back, she was like, oh wow, you did everything you said I was supposed to do. Was I not supposed to? Like her saying that, it showed me something about again, her mentality. Because to be in awe that I actually did what I said I was going to do means that initially you never envisioned that I was going to do it in the first place. So why the fuck were you here? So when I started to understand that mentality, I was like, oh, well, this makes sense. She already doubts like that I was going to do it anyway. So the actions did that. And it's easy to be infiltrated with your friends and all of this shit and say, girl, he ain't going to get his shit together. He ain't going to be on that shit. It's like, all right, well, have a little patience. And I always say women are going to run out of women will run out of patience before a man's time comes because society makes it that way. I need y'all to understand, like, motherfuckers be like, yo, Scene, why are you single? And it's like, because I know how this shit works. It already happened to me before. When I got cheated on, it's because as I'm talking to this woman, as you know, when I got cheated on, she's breaking it down. It's like, oh, I fucked up because this and the third. All I had to do was wait. All I had to do was be patient. You gave me everything and all of this. I said, no, I told you that. I told you that. I told you that. You feel me? But you didn't want to wait because you couldn't wait because women's patience runs out before a man reaches his time. Why? Because women are taught to be pursued. Women are taught to be like there's so many levels to the shit. And in that, I was able to forgive it. So motherfuckers be like, I've had conversations because I'm 33, I have no kids, and I'm not in a relationship right now. Motherfuckers like, yo, that's a red flag. Something's wrong with you. You may be, no. I've forgiven the cultural system of how women are. Because I understand why that pain was inflicted of, damn, I put in all this time. You don't have the patience to wait for me. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Even worse, you was with me in the gym and then you left while I was getting my shot right. You see what I'm saying? As a black man, I was just making this post the other day. As a black man, you are demanded a level of perfection that you're not given a grace for. And it connects to the patience and the time. The time it's going to take for me to solidify myself, or the time it took for me to solidify myself, a lot of women didn't have the patience for it. But now to come back when you didn't have the patience and the time is up, you can't have that. And it's not a slight, it's not a disrespect. It's not for me to look at you the wrong way and say nothing like you have to show me that you're not the same person. Because I no longer want that person. I no longer want the person who couldn't wait for me to build, bro. That makes no sense to me. But I've still forgiven you. And I think a lot of times people think because we forgive somebody, that means we reconcile and we fuck with you again. No, I understand why you inflicted that pain, but I understand that you're still in the mentality to inflict that pain again. I can't fuck with you like that. This ain't malice. This ain't anger. I have absolutely no feeling towards that because I understand why you did what you did. Especially in society where we're teaching women that you got that window. You got that window. Mind you, Shorty was older than me at the time. I think like 2 or 3 or a year and a half, 2 years older than me, some shit like that. But either way, I get it. I was like 27. So she was 29, 30 or some shit like that, 29. Your clock is up. So they're telling you your clock is up. So now, bam, you go out. Okay, I need somebody who can fill my clock. And then you keep failing at shit. You keep failing at these relationships because now, I'm not saying she was failing at them, but I'm saying the fact that you can, after all of this time, you can spend this block and still be single. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. And then to come back and think I'm still in that same mental space. Do you not see what I built? Like, if you would have been patient with me while I was building, you would have been growing with me. But to know that you're in the exact same spot mentally, I don't know if it's physically, but mentally, to be in that exact same spot, be thinking the same way, talking the same way, and all of the shit. Like, motherfuckers hear my podcast and can see my growth. Motherfuckers can read my books and see my growth. Motherfuckers can involve themselves in my courses and see my growth. But all of these things were the things that I had to build that needed time that women didn't have the patience for. A lot of women are single to this day right now because they don't have the patience for the man that's putting in the time that they need. Because they want their time handled. I need attention. I need this. No, you need to utilize your time well. Women, a lot of women don't start fulfilling their purpose until they have a man with a purpose already fulfilled. And that's scary. That's scary because when the time happens, it's like, yo, why did you leave this person alone? Because you ain't had no purpose. I was building my purpose. You was waiting on me to complete my purpose to start yours. And you wonder why, oh, she was with him when he was at. Again, we need to understand how pain is inflicted. When all of a sudden he get on and he get his shit together and he leave her alone, what was she putting him through while he was building his shit? Did her patience run thin while he was using the time to develop himself? Ask that question. Ask that question. We simultaneously live in a society where a man has to be established, but he also has to pursue a woman. But you can't pursue a woman unless you're established. But you only have 30 years to do it because her clock is going to run out. And the reason why I said 30 years from birth to 30, but you really don't even have that. You have 8. You graduate from college at 22. If you go. And in that 8-year pocket now, let's just say you graduate from college and then you start your job and everything. You have 8 years. 8. But now you got to go to college because now the society is so fucked up. You have to have a master's or you have to have your PhD. You have to keep going. So by the time you get let's say you go through everything, med school would have been finished. If I would have did med school, apprenticeship and all that shit, 31 years old, I would have been finished everything. Then I got to start. I got to start at 31 and a woman's biological clock is over in her 30s. But I still need that time. So now I'm in a space where now I'm playing catch up. Now I got to love bomb. Now I got to rush shit. We can't forgive this reality because we don't understand why this pain is being inflicted. Because now I got to put in time for patience she doesn't have. I have to accumulate the time and she doesn't have the patience. I can't be mad at her for not having the patience. I wasn't mad at Shorty for not having the patience. But you can't be mad at me for not having the time. And now I can't give you the time because you weren't patient with me before. You feel me? And this is not just her. This is our umbrella of people. This is how the society is built. It's made for the shit not to work. Everybody keep asking, why don't relationships work? Y'all not looking at the system. It's not designed for you to work. You feel what I'm saying? This is why they want money off of every fucking thing. This is why you have marriage licenses. This is why you have all this shit. They know you're not going to work. Because most of the women only want the wedding ring any fucking way. They're not patient enough to actually go through a process of being with a man who's developing the time. I'm telling you from experience. I'm not telling you out of bitterness. I'm not telling you out of anger. I'm telling you from the time I had to step back. Because you're going to get those type of women where they're all basing themselves off of a clock. A clock that don't even exist. You know how much shit is fucked up because of that? This clock doesn't even exist. For real, for real. It exists in context to how your nutrition is built. Yes, if you eat in the dietary regimen that they gave you, you have 30 years to have a kid from birth. However, if your nutrition, if your nervous system, if everything in the environment is what it's supposed to be, you can have babies up until you stop menopause. Y'all don't find it suspicious. Y'all don't find it weird. Y'all don't even think to question the fact that the menses process starts and it has a moment where it actually ends. There's over 50 or something like that, women no longer have periods. That means it stopped. That means all of the eggs that you were ever going to make in your life are completely gone now. But it doesn't happen until menopause. Menopause happens in your 50s. 50s to 60s. That's when the hot flashes and shit start kicking in, hormones and all that shit. 50s to 60s. But 20 years prior to menopause happening, you can no longer have kids. What have they done to your motherfucking body to where 20 years of fertility is now taken away from you? Again, don't nobody want to look at that. Oh, this is just the way things are. No, this is the way the system made it. You should be able to conceive. This is why you seen motherfuckers who like, yo, miracle baby, woman got a baby, has a baby at 45, has a baby at 50. And I get it. A lot of women say shit like, oh, I don't want to be having babies at 50. Why not? Why don't you want to be pregnant at 45? Why don't you want to be pregnant at 40? Because you already know that the society has already damaged your body so much you can't even enjoy yourself. You're not eating the right things. You're not working out. You're not doing anything. You're stressed. Everything is so, I want to be young when you're as young as you feel. I'm gonna toot my own horn on this. Like when the doctors told my sister that she couldn't conceive a child, like it's crazy how nobody wants to give me the credit for this shit because they can't, but they can't deny what I did. You know what I'm saying? Now I ain't gonna say nobody, but like my sister definitely, she respects it and everything. But they try to call my niece a miracle baby and whatever the case may be. They're like, no, the doctors told my sister that she couldn't get pregnant. I put her on a plant-based alkaline diet and she conceived. Me as a motherfucker, I'm not worried about no biological clocks and times. I know the body. When I'm ready to have kids, I can have them with whoever I want to have them with. She just has to be willing to go through the things to say, oh, this is what you're going to have to do. This is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to stop doing this. You're going to have to stop doing this. You're going to have to stop doing this. You're going to have to start doing this. You're going to have to start doing this. A lot of women ain't built for that. But that's a whole different conversation because you're not their father. You their man. You got to tell, you want me to protect and provide. But the reason why I'm saying that is because this is why the relationships get damaged. This is why we get caught up in so much shit because we don't understand how the system works. So because of that, the system was designed to fuck everybody up because everybody's rhythms are completely off. So now when I now had to forgive, so now tying it back into the patience and the time running down and shit like that, we now have to deal with that. This is why a lot of men be mad at women because it's like, yo, y'all don't have the time for us. Y'all don't have the patience to wait for the time that we got to put in. And then we got to put in all this time. You wonder why. It's like, oh, I'm just going to fucking leave it alone. Like, this is what it is. I don't have the time for the patience that women don't have. Because in the society, it's always going to be, oh, she going to keep bouncing around. She can fuck with this one. She can fuck with this one. She can fuck with this one. She had a lot of options. I'm not mad at it. I just happened to be the one that was there first and shit. And it's like, it's the joke. They were like, yeah, you just not, what is it? You just the current nigga, some shit they say. But Shorty was, I wasn't mad. She's worried about her clock. She worried about this. And as she's seeing me, it's just like, yo, I told her, I said, I have a vision. I said, I got to finish the Soul For Real series. I got some courses to make. I got to do this and third. I got to write a plant-based book or whatever. She saw me write the plant-based book. She started fucking with me off of Soul For Real. She saw me write the plant-based book and never once. And for something, it just didn't connect. She was like, so look, I got to finish this. I don't give a fuck what happens. Like, cause at the end of the day, if I don't get this shit done, and I die, I got to answer to the creator. I got to answer to the source. I got to answer to what put me here to fulfill my purpose. Not you. It's like, yo, but Shorty wanted me to, who cares? Who cares? You have something that you have to do. And I define that. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I have to do. This is what I will do. If you want to fuck with me between that time, cool. But understand, I can't jeopardize shit. Well, I need to do this. I need to do this. It's not about you. This is about what we have to build. I'm focusing on my great granddaughter. And she's calibrating me to who her great grandmother is supposed to be. The fact that I'm able to run into you means that you have the potential to be that. So you now have to change that mentality of, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever mentality that you have, because that's going to cause you to inflict the very pain that you're now asking me for forgiveness for. It's like, ooh, I was young and dumb is not an excuse. Because if you're going to tell me that you're young, if people use the young and dumb as an excuse to foster the forgiveness. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say manipulate it, but to foster the forgiveness. Oh, I was young and dumb. That don't mean shit. Because you thought you was grown then. Niggas be thinking you forget shit. Like when motherfuckers say, I get it, you grow and you mature. In the moment, you can look back and say I was young and dumb. But in that moment, you thought you was grown as fuck because you were literally the oldest you've ever been. You weren't young and dumb. You were the most mature you have ever been in your life. Let's sit with that for a second. I don't fuck with excuses. I don't fuck with excuses. I'm sorry. No excuse suffices anything for me. I do not fuck with excuses. But the reality is the reality. Who you currently are is the most mature you'll ever be in your life. In this very moment. In 5 years, yes, you can look back and say, yeah, I was young and dumb, but you can't do that shit right now. Every decision that you make right now is a conscious decision off of who you fucking are right now. So when you tell me you made a mistake then, but if you're still that same motherfucker right now, you're gonna make that same mistake again. And it's not gonna be a mistake because it's gonna be intentional. These are your actions. This is how you think this is what's gonna happen. So you thought that was okay at that time. In a time when I didn't think that was okay. And now that you realize that it wasn't okay, you want to, I now see that I see that it wasn't okay just like you saw it, but I've gotten past that it wasn't okay because I understand why you did what you did. Hey, bro, for real though, at some point we got to stop talking to women about masculinity and start talking to each other about it. And I mean really talk to each other. Not as enablers and co-signers, but as men trying to reach the pinnacle of our essence. And that's what the So Frail series does. So Frail 1 is the definition. So Frail 2 is the acknowledgement. And So Frail 3 is the resolution. If you rock with the So Frail conversations, I can guarantee you will rock with the So Frail series of books. So visit IamJustSaying.com right now so you can add the series to your library. I promise you will never look at masculinity the same again, and you're going to stop wasting your time arguing with women about it. This is a conversation that men need to have between men, and it's time we start having this conversation now. And again, as I'm saying, let me say this. I'm using this to teach the lesson. I'm not using this to disrespect this woman. She's still a beautiful person, still a beautiful soul. I'd still consider her a friend, even when I talk to her. You feel me? But at the same time, it's a friend. What could have been and what was supposed to, it can't happen again. Because I'm seeing that friend is still there. That friend is still that same person. We be wanting people to be. Sometimes we look at it from a different perspective. Look at it from a different perspective. Sometimes we look at friends and like, this person doesn't support me. This person doesn't. Did they ever? Had they ever had a supportive mentality? Did you ever do anything prior that deserved support? Probably not. That's probably why you don't see why they're doing what they're doing. You feel me? We be mad at people for not supporting us. Sometimes they can't. One thing that I learned on this entrepreneurship journey, the closest ones to you are going to be the ones that you're going to have to forgive the most. But the closest ones to you are the ones that have the most pain to inflict on you. And it's not like they sabotage you or they do no fucked up shit. But the reason why, because you're inflicting pain on them. Don't even know it. I had to realize that within myself. Who y'all are seeing is not the person y'all knew and loved. Y'all now have to love somebody else. I didn't consider that because I'm not focused on y'all motherfuckers. Fuck y'all. I got to get out of poverty. I got to make sure my kids are never in this shit again. But y'all are watching me change. This isn't the person that y'all fell in love with. This isn't the person that y'all called on and y'all say y'all can. This isn't y'all don't even know how to talk to me anymore. That's some scary shit. I inflicted pain on them too. And now I want them to be I forgive y'all because I have to understand why they're mad. And in their anger or whatever the case may be, it's reverberating. That's why you're inflicting this on me, because you are adjusting to my change. And I have to adjust to you staying the same. And our battle is there. I'm talking to people and I'm talking immediate circle, close friends, family and shit, where, well, I'm just gonna say family because all my close friends are family, but in that immediate space is y'all are watching me change and y'all are not changing. And that's where I disconnect. And we are having a difficulty. We're inflicting pain on each other because now when you try to bring up certain shit for me, I don't fuck with it. Certain shit don't appeal to me anymore because I've grown beyond that and you can't accept that. But then when I try to for example, I got homies and shit who well, they're not even homies. I got a motherfucker who got tight with me one time because they kept sending me videos on social media. Watch this video, watch it. So I sent them a fucking book. What you trying to say? Well, what you mean? I feel like you should read this book. And they got mad. So I was like, so wait, you can send me videos all day long because you think I should watch them. But yet I'm wrong if I send you a book because I think you should read it. I wasn't trying to insinuate anything. So it's now, what does that mean? That means that You're not trying to enter my world. You just want me to be in yours. You feel what I'm saying? If I can't recommend a book to you, if because I'm a reader, my nigga, I read a lot. I read a lot, and if I see that I don't like entertaining myself with videos. That's stupid to me. You feel me? And when you find a niche or find something that I'm an all encompassing person, so there's not a thing that's limited to me. So when you try to confine me into, oh, this is what we like. Oh, I can't build a relationship off a like. I need to build a relationship off of a total person. This is all relationships, friendships, brotherhoods, all kind of shit. Like it has to be a totality of a person. Because now if I compartmentalize you, you're compartmentalized. Simple. You feel me? But if I only know you for this one thing, that's all I know you for. I need to know you for you so I know how to approach you, how to deal with you. But when we're in those spaces where we try to give back to what, all right, man, what you trying to say? You trying to be funny? I don't think I should. And then you don't read the book. Funnest, not the funnest, but one of the examples that I got that from, I started to see that is when I was watching Snowfall. Leon gave Franklin a book to read and Franklin didn't read it. And Leon was like, you didn't even read the shit. You didn't even open it. Imagine how you feel as a person. Like, I got homies and shit. Every day they send me TikToks. They send me reels. They send me YouTube videos. They send me all kind of shit. And then what are your thoughts on this? Did you watch this shit? Let me send them a book. They don't even crack that bitch open. Who's really the wrong friend there? Now, am I wrong for that? Am I wrong for saying, for ignoring the shit or not responding, not comment? But they expect me to tell me what you thought about the video. Tell me what you thought about that book I sent you. Oh, I didn't get around to reading it. But yet you expect me to drop what the fuck I'm doing and getting around to watch what you want me to watch. How does that work? How does that work? It works because you have to understand the mentality of why that person is doing it. This is something that I had to come to terms with. This is the only way that they know how to get to me now. Forgiveness is a double-edged sword because you think it's not just you have to forgive people, you have to forgive yourself too. You feel me? You have to forgive not only people, you have to forgive the experience itself. When I understand how motherfuckers is responding, like people that just keep sending me when people can't get to you intellectually, they try to get you comedically. If I can't make you think, I'm gonna make you feel. So here's something that I feel makes me feel good. You feel what I mean? If you can't contribute nothing to me and I'm an intellectual motherfucker, if you can't contribute nothing to me intellectually, I'm gonna intimidate you. So many people keep telling me shit. I've had conversations over the years, motherfucker, like everything ain't that deep. Everything ain't that shallow. Everything is that deep for me because this is the pool that I swim in. Let me swim in my pool. You feel what I'm saying? Like when motherfuckers tell you that everything ain't that deep, it's like they're really telling you that I can't go that deep. And if you can't hear that because you don't understand the mentality in which they're presenting themselves, you will internalize it as, okay, maybe everything ain't that deep. And now you're capping yourself off. No, you're just not supposed to be swimming in my oceans. Go back to the pond. Go to the fish tank. You see what I mean? But these things are reflective and moments that you have to be able to filter through by gaining forgiveness. Forgiveness is so fucking beautiful. It's so fucking powerful because you're going to see the full totality of life when you understand why pain is inflicted. I don't need anybody to apologize to me these days. I don't. I used to, back in the day, apologize for you because I need you to know. It don't matter what they apologize if their mentality is the same. They're going to do the same action. You dig what I'm saying? I learned that like my pops was gone when I was 4 months old when they split. And then he came back when I was 11, did the exact same shit. His mentality was the same. His mentality was the same, which means what? His actions were going to be the exact same. This is why they teach you. This is why they say a true apology is change behavior. You feel me? If you fucking with somebody who tells all your motherfucking business and you say, hey, yo, you told my business, don't tell my business again. If their mentality didn't change, they're going to tell your fucking business again. Forgiveness is saying, I understand. I'm not telling you shit else. And then now they have to deal with the fact that you don't talk to them anymore. You don't tell them anything. I got people right now who be like, damn, you keep me in the dark about everything. Because when I brought you to the light, What did you do? You gossiped about me. You denigrate. You try to downplay what I said. I'm not gonna keep. I understand who you are. I understand how I have to deal with you, and I understand that dealing with you causes pain in a certain way. So I don't have to deal with that. It's a choice. I don't forget shit because you can't. Because the deeper it is that you hit me with, the deeper it stores into my nervous system. The deeper it stores to my soul, it imprints in my mind. Like I can't forget shit. The moment you get to that point of realization that you can't forget what you're trying to forget, thinking it's forgiveness, you'll get to the point of understanding, yo, why did you inflict this pain on me? Now I know the mindset of why you inflicted this pain on me. I can't fuck with you until your mindset changes. You feel me? You have men that'll cheat. You have women that'll cheat one time and one time only because they fuck with them so bad that they mind change and they say, I can't do this again. Happened to me. I cheated one time in my life. I was 15 years old. And because it was a pregnancy scare, because the condom popped, thought I got the shorty pregnant and shit. I was like, ugh. I'm worried about the shorty, but I'm worried about, damn, how I'm going to tell my mama, how I'm going to do this. That moment, I said, I'm never cheating again. Nigga, this is what the fuck you got to deal with when you cheat. I don't want that shit. Fuck that. Changed my mind. Therefore, changed the action. The mentality change. You got some motherfuckers that'll cheat and only sorry because they got caught, not because they actually did the shit. And it's like, damn, I changed the whole mentality. And they'll keep cheating and you'll keep allowing them to cheat, but you don't forgive them. You try to forget it and bury it, but you can't forgive it because you're not taking the time to understand why the pain was inflicted. And I've heard motherfuckers say, I don't give a fuck why the pain was inflicted. And that's why you can't forgive. You need to give a fuck why the pain was inflicted or why you're going to be doomed to repeat it again. Somebody else in another form is going to repeat that motherfucking pain on you. And now you're blaming everybody else as opposed to the motherfucker who's not forgiving the pain. When we go through our heartbreak, each heartbreak that you go through, any transformative point of your life is supposed to transition you into something else. If you're repeating that heartbreak, you're not learning the lessons. You feel me? Y'all got to stop listening to motherfuckers who are telling you like we have so many universal things that we applying to ourselves that ain't universal, like red flags and shit. You feel me? You create a universal red flag because you can't forgive. You don't even know why the pain was inflicted by that person. You just generalize all people. You're the red flag for that. That's the biggest plot twist. Making the biggest red flag that you can have is making a universal red flag out of everything. You really think you got the same red flags as another motherfucker who never grew up in the same environment, same circumstances, same reality as you? Y'all got the same red flags? Sit with that. You feel me? I use this example because it drives the point home with it. Like I've had so many dudes say, yo, niggas worried about body counts. Because they worried about body counts from different mentalities. You feel what I'm saying? Some men are worried about the body count from their experience and not having a good stroke game, or maybe thinking they dick little, or maybe I don't give a fuck about a body count. I push a motherfucking fun to saying that my dick game is good. I don't have to worry about the body count. Right? You feel what I'm saying? But we have different mentalities. So when a dude tells me, oh, a woman with multiple bodies is a red flag for me, it's a green flag for me because I don't have to teach her shit. I don't have to teach her shit. She's been around the motherfucking block. She knows what the fuck is up. When I put this dick on her, she gonna put that pussy on me. And we gonna have a motherfucking magical moment. Every woman that I've had sex with that had a plethora of bodies, the sex was fucking amazing. Nobody wants to talk about that. Why do you think? That's why hoes are hoes, nigga. Because they got the experience. But yet our mentality is programmed us to believe that if a woman has multiple bodies, she's a, they got us. First off, they fucked up the reality of what a virgin really is. So they make us value virgins and say, oh, a woman who doesn't have a lot of bodies, whatever the case may be. No. Did you know that the actual understanding of virgin, this is why English and all this shit is so fucked up, and you got to go back to history to understand it. A virgin meant a pregnant woman. It never meant a woman who had never had sex. It meant a pregnant woman. Changes context when you understand the Virgin Mary. Wasn't because she did not have sex. It was because she was pregnant. That's why the theme is the Immaculate Conception. Because she got pregnant without having sex. Pregnancy makes you the virgin. Sit with that for a second. I know. It's not a reach. If you go back and actually study it, the Immaculate Conception, when our ancestors left the blueprint and said, and it's documented, especially in Kemet or whatever the case may be. But collectively, when a woman was pregnant, she became a virgin. Why? Because a virgin means not to have sex. What happens when you get pregnant? You're not having sex like you used to. Your menstruation stops. You feel what I'm saying? They got you convinced today that it's healthy to have sex while the baby. No, it's not. It's not. It's not healthy to have sex. It's almost very dangerous because you can force the miscarriage with your dumb ass. Because because we don't understand that we're in a rape culture society. So the sex that we have is all damaging sex. It's all off of power. It's all off of dominion. So you're having uh, you're having rough sex typically with a pregnant baby. So when a woman got pregnant, the virgin was because she was pregnant, not because she wasn't having sex. And because she was pregnant, she wasn't having sex. You follow me? But in today's society, because everything is so fucked up the way that it is, we think that a virgin is a motherfucker who's not having sex. Or a virgin is or a woman who still has her hymen intact. A virgin is a pregnant woman. Virgin is a pregnant woman, always has been. We just didn't know what the fuck we were listening to because you hear the information in pieces and you run with it. So now when we're looking at this is why in the religious context is why they're so big on Jezebels. They're so big on that because it was a shame. Because the women that were actually getting pregnant, they was only getting pregnant by who? Real men. So somebody had to create a codified standard to say, yo, you can't leave us out. Yes, I can. Survival of the fittest. Y'all are not even the alphas, since we put that shit in quote. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm saying that to tie it back because now we're looking at, I'm speaking on the flag that I had. So for me, it wasn't a red flag if a woman had multiple bodies. But now let's take that a step further. If a woman has perceived that in her mentality, like people don't even pay attention to the action so much. And I'm glad I'm talking about forgiveness and understanding pain because it goes to the mentality and the actions. When you were having sex for my brothers, if you was fucking between like 15 to 22, right? There's a time window when you having sex with a woman and shit. Y'all in a space, y'all kissing, whatever the case may be, and she cover her face or turn her head or put her arms over her head as you pulling the panties off. Because now you have to understand the mentality of why she's doing that. There's shame there. Oh, I'm about to fuck something. I'm about to get fucked. And it's like you're going into that mentality, with that mentality. So now this creates a whole different world. Right? A whole different world. Because now it's like everything that and this is why after you never heard that phrase, I ain't have sex with you last night, because you see somebody the next day and you don't say shit to them. Why? Because we have internalized sex as shame. So when we have it, even though we want it, you feel what I'm saying? And because we want it and it's taken away from us and it's made so taboo, this is why we crave and we become addicted to it, because we don't have the tenacity to say, just do this piece and leave it alone. But it all comes back into an origin of a mentality that generated an action. And that's what forgiveness is about, understanding the mentalities that generate the actions. I know it seems like I'll be going all over the place and I always bring it back because it always makes sense. Understanding why shit happened to you. You feel what I'm saying? It's niggas right now mad at their mamas. You feel me? Because it's niggas mad at their mamas because of some shit that, they grew up with or they were deprived of or whatever the case may be, but they don't understand the mentality behind it. Could she actually physically do it? I grew up in poverty. Like, for all of my desires and shit that I wanted, we couldn't afford them. That was simply it. We couldn't afford them. There's I can't get mad. Oh, my mama, she did this. She could have did. She could have very well have, but the system was already implanted to make sure that her and my dad were going to separate anyway. I can be mad at them too. I could be mad at them all day long, but I understand that there's something bigger than that. Like, oh, nah, y'all didn't have a fighting chance. It wasn't going to work anyway. Statistically speaking, it wasn't going to work. And I get it. They're like, well, statistics. Yeah, everybody throw out statistics because you got to understand statistics reveal the efficacy of a system, how well a system works. 70% of black mothers, 70% of single parent homes. 70% of single mothers will. No. Let me say it right. 7 out of 10 men raised by a single woman will go to prison. That's a very effective system. I'm sorry. I'm not when I when you understand entrepreneurship and you understand systems and you understand complexes of systems and shit, you like, oh nigga, y'all got a science to this shit. I understand the bag. Chase the money and you figure shit out. I understand the bag. 7 out of 10 men raised of a single mother will go to jail. Hmm. 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 And by third grade, we build the prison school. We build the prisons by on third grade test scores. Hmm. Hmm. Third graders are 8 years old, 7 to 8 years old. Hmm. Within the first 7 years of life, if I can make sure the father is not in the home, 7 out of 10 of this, 7 out of 10 of them kids are gonna go to jail. 7 out of 10 of those men are gonna go to jail. Can I really be mad at my mom and my dad? Yeah, I can, but I have to understand. I'm able to forgive both of them for whatever the bad, whatever, because we gotta also give praise for the good. We so busy focused on the forgiveness, and that's what makes forgiveness easy and make you see the totality of a person. Because when you understand why pain was inflicted, you realize, oh, you're human. I can't only focus on the good for you because that's perception. That's ego driven. That's me at my lower self. I have to understand why you inflicted what you inflicted, homie. This was a system designed to work this way. You didn't have a fighting chance because you didn't even know the system was there. So many of us know the system, but we don't know the effects of the system and how well this shit is wired and oiled to work. So if I want 7 out of every 10 boys to go to prison, all I have to do is make sure the father is not in the home. How do I do that? Bitches ain't shit. Make sure these niggas don't love these bitches. Or I can send them to prison. A lot of the fathers who would have been in their child's lives end up in prison. But the ones that stay out of their lives, they never go to jail. We don't see the disconnect in that shit. Because there's a mentality of, oh, nigga, you don't like bitches. You don't like bitches. So you're going to have a baby and leave it alone because you don't like bitches. Respectfully. You don't even like the women. So you'll fuck them raw. You'll do whatever you want to do, but you don't even like them. So we can leave you on the streets. But you motherfuckers that'll actually be there in your life, the ones who are selling drugs, the ones who are trapping, the ones who are doing all these things, the protectors and providers who will snap and go to jail because they'll put them motherfucking. You feel me? You motherfuckers, we want you motherfuckers to have had the babies. You feel me? 7 out of 10. The system is so well polished that 7 out of 10 motherfuckers will go to jail if they're raised by a single mother. I look at me and my closest friends. If I just count 7 of us. No, if I look at the homies, the main homies in the hood. The main homies in the hood. Only that I fuck with. If I count 10 of us, only one of us didn't go to jail. You feel me? Only one of us didn't go to jail. Like I have only one homeboy who was never locked up, never arrested. You feel me? I got locked up. I got arrested. I didn't get charged. You feel me? Y'all heard the 200th episode, but out of us, only one didn't go to jail. His brother went. Yeah. Damn. That system, it might even be better than that because now 7 out of 10 went to jail. All of us was raised by our mamas by ourselves. Only one of my homies had a stepfather. Like he had a stepdad in the crib. No, 2 of my homies, they had dads in the crib or whatever. No, one of my homies, his mom had passed, and he was raised by his dad and his uncle. And me and my homies, we was gonna jump his daddy because his dad was fucking with him and shit. He was like, yo, these niggas try to jump me. Grown ass man try to jump a 13, 14-year-old. We went around that bitch. We ain't with 15, 16. Nigga, what's up, nigga? Come out to the motherfucking street, nigga. You feel? We was about to beat that nigga ass though. He ain't no come to the street. You feel what I'm saying? But we told him, I said, yo, you ever put your hands on my homie again, I'm gonna put you in the dirt. I told him that myself. I said, if I ever hear, I told him, I told his uncle, I said, if I ever hear that you put your hands on him, I'm 16 years old telling grown ass men, these niggas in their 30s and shit. I was a gangster for real, bro. I ain't fear shit. I still don't. But I told these niggas, I said, yo, if I ever hear y'all little niggas, and I'm saying little niggas, like, let me tell you how crazy I was, man. I told them, these is grown ass men. These is gangster niggas, bro. These is grown ass men. But I went around that motherfucker. I was like, yo, if I ever hear y'all jump my motherfucking mans again, I'm putting y'all niggas in the dirt, and I mean that shit. And I walked off. I don't know if they believe me to be serious, but I meant that shit. They ain't jumping again though. He ain't never have hands put on him after that. Cause I meant business. I was really gonna lay shit down. But you feel me? Him and another one of my other homie, he had a stepdad. But some way, shape, or form, all of us got trapped. All of us got locked up in some way, shape, or form. We was arrested. Only one of us didn't get arrested, ever. And it's like, damn, 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 the system works. The system works. So now when I look at that on a bigger scale, it's like, how do you forgive the people that were the pawns in that? Because we got to understand this is a chess game, right? So those people that are actually sitting on the front line, the pawns, they go like, you think your parents were actually the ones wronging you? No, they were just puppets on a string and didn't even know they were on a string, because systemized things have been put in place for them to act a certain way. Because the mentality is going to cause this action. We think psychology is the study of, like, they teach you that psychology is the study of behavior. So everybody says, I want to get a psychology degree. No. Psychology is to monitor motherfuckers. Because we know what mentalities we about to put in these motherfuckers. Now we need to monitor the actions. And we use psychologists, quote unquote, to do it. Psychology, the word psych itself means the soul and the spirit. It does not mean the mind. They teach you that it means the study of the mind. It's not. It's the study of the soul, which makes sense why it shows behaviors. Because we look at behaviors based on patterns, and it's based off mentality. The programmed mentality that you see every single day, the shit you watch on social media and all these things, this is going to create the action. We wonder why men can't be men today. What imagery did you ever see of a man? All y'all niggas got is Wakanda Forever. Superhero wise, is some shit that you watch. We got Training Day. Look at the imprint of the imagery of what a real man is. It's set to a science, bro. So how much more would you think the mentality would be of a woman believing that she's going to run out of time? How much more do you think of a man who realizes that I have to have myself established before I can even do anything? What do you think happens after a while? The actions are created. When you understand the actions of a motherfucker and stop overlooking them, you have to sit into the mentality, because before you can get to the mind, there's something imprinted on the soul. The spirit is bound to something that makes the mind think about certain things that causes the body to act a certain way. Forgiveness has to get you to the point where you can see somebody's soul. Most motherfuckers can't even see their own soul. So how you gonna see the soul of another motherfucker to even have the understanding to forgive them? Forgiveness is not just constantly uttering the word, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. No. Forgiveness is understanding why pain was inflicted. One of the greatest examples of somebody who actually forgave somebody in real time that we saw in the movie was Tina Turner. She forgave Ike Turner. A lot of people don't realize it. Tina Turner, she forgave Ike Turner when she left Christianity and started practicing Buddhism and started doing Nam Myoho Reiki. She understood the type of motherfucker he was, and she fought him back. That's forgiveness. That's one of the greatest representations of forgiveness that I've ever seen in my life, that I can relate to everybody, that everybody knows about. Tina forgave Ike. Because we don't look at forgiveness that way. We look at forgiveness as, oh, you forget about the situation and you start over again. No, forgiveness is understanding why pain was inflicted. And now, understanding why pain was inflicted, then understanding the mentality that it came from, and now addressing how you're going to deal with that mindset. Because the actions that have to come out of it, she says, oh, he's an abusive motherfucker. I'm fighting this nigga, bro. Once Tina Turner fought Ike back, her life changed. Once Ike knew he didn't have power over her anymore, shit changed. That was forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't good. Forgiveness isn't bad. It's just. This is one of the things, like, when people ask, like, just saying is deep, is far deeper than just, oh, just is in the way. Oh, I'm just me. No, there's levels to the word just. To be just is to be fair, is to be balanced, to be equal. Balanced. You feel what I'm saying? Justice. You feel me? People think forgiveness is always good. Mm-mm. Sometimes my forgiveness should lead me to not fucking with you again. And not in the sense of, and one thing that I get is, like, people are like, well, don't you think about certain people that you, no, I don't think about anybody I've forgiven. You're not in my mind anymore. That's what forgiveness really does. Because when I understand When I understand why you inflicted pain on me, I now understand your mentality. You're compartmentalized into where you're supposed to go. You're compartmentalized into where you're supposed to go from that point forward. Like people be thinking, oh yeah, you forgot about somebody, you ghosted. Some people don't get ghosted, they get forgiven. Mm, mm. And they don't even know that that's what it is. Because like I understand why you do what you do. I forgive you though, I just can't fuck with you no more. At least have the decency to tell. I don't owe you the decency for shit. You don't owe me I don't owe you the decency. I don't agree with ghosting, but this is going to suffice to what we're saying. I don't owe you the decency of telling you that I'm leaving you alone when you don't have the decency to realize your mindset is fucked up. If the very thing that's causing a problem to me, you don't see a problem with, nigga, nigga, why am I gonna continue to fuck with you? Like, keep it 100. Why would I continue to fuck with you? Because a lot of people don't realize that what they do is wrong. They don't realize that their mentality is wrong. This is why when some shit pop off and they apologize, I apologize if what I did hurt you. Nah, that's why I don't give a fuck about apologies no more. You want to apologize to me? Show me that your mindset has changed with the very thing that you wronged me with. Actions speak louder than words. Do they really? Actions speak louder than words because niggas ain't listening to what's being said. Because the words that come out, they come from a mentality, bro. If you need actions to justify mentality, you can't hear the words anyway. That's why they speak louder. Niggas can't comprehend what the fuck they hear. Motherfuckers tell you every day what their mindset is like. You just don't listen to the shit. You feel me? Gotta keep the same energy. You just gotta. But we're not built for that shit because we don't really know what forgiveness is. And so we end up reconciling, going through the same bullshit again. Like you get caught in a time loop simply because you won't forgive. That's running into that same motherfucker over and over and over and over again. That's the shit. Now, here's where it becomes different. And I'm going to try to wrap this up. I can tell the shorty is different, but she doesn't want to be the different version of herself that she's bringing to me now. Because in her mind, she's still thinking that I see that version of her. I do, because that's the only version I know, but I've forgiven that version of you. The fact that you're able to cut, nobody can come back into my space. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless they change. People don't even realize that. The fact that she's back in my space right now, that I know she changed, but has she acknowledged that she's changed? Is she willing to admit that she's changed? Is she willing to do these things? She's not. So we just got to keep it as friends. Because she thinks that I still see her as I used to. No, show me who you really are right now. I know you changed. That's the only reason why you in this space. Just like my dad. You feel what I'm saying? I know he's really changed because that's the only reason why he's in this space. Because when you forgive for real, and you understand the mentality and you compartmentalize that shit, the universe will not even put shit in your radar that fits within that energy. I know, right? I know. Y'all like how I brought this shit all the way back. It's real. When the motherfucker, oh, retrograde, no. If you have not, now, here's where it gets contingent because it's like, oh, so you're saying that if somebody comes back? No, only if you've forgiven them. If you have forgiven them under the understanding that forgiveness is understanding why pain was inflicted. That motherfucker that keep coming back because you're trying to forget it, that's not the same motherfucker I'm talking about. You still in that same energetic space. But when you forgiving the motherfucker and you compartmentalize that energy that they use to inflict the pain, they have to be above that energy in order to even match, even to come back in your space again. So like I said, when I'm talking to my pops and we have these moments and we're vibing and shit, he's really changed. He's not that same victim motherfucker. He's not that same victim-minded motherfucker who's like, yeah, man, I just want you. No, he admits his fault. That's how I'm able to forgive him because I understand why you inflicted the pain. Now he understands why he inflicted the pain. We even talked. He said, man, I just wasn't ready. I can admit that I wasn't ready. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, yo, you nigga, you should have thought about that after the first two, nigga. I came 5 years after the second one. When was y'all niggas ever going to prepare to get ready? His mentality was that he was already ready because he didn't even know what his mentality was supposed to be. Now, when I understand the culture and I understand, oh, yeah, black men, we think that we're breeders still. We just have babies and keep moving. That mentality is there. So therefore, that's the action. I'm able to forgive it because I understand its action. Why? Because I had to stop this mentality myself. I'm like, I'm not no fucking breeder, nigga. The fuck? You feel me? I'm not a breeder, homie. But I understand. So I was able to forgive him. When he made that connection for himself, he was able to come back into my space. Same with this young lady. You feel what I'm saying? I know she's changed. I know she's changed, but she's trying to get me to see her as a, like, no, don't. That version of you is dead. That version of me is dead. That version of you and me, we didn't work. We're not gonna work. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying this is some shit like, I'm trying to get back together with her, no shit like that. But I'm saying I know that you've changed because you're able to come back after I've forgiven you. When she was coming back, when I wasn't, and I didn't forgive her, when I was just trying to forget and trying to get past her and shit like that, that was retrograde shit. That was the same motherfucker that tells her she still got it. I know that she changed because she didn't even come back in that same energy. It was like, damn, damn, damn. And it took seeing me in my new position to say, he's different. I now have to be different. That's the only way she see it. Like, during this time, I say it's been about 4 or 5 years since we talked, up until recent times. And it's like, well, I know that I've forgiven you because I understand why you did what you did. I understand it wasn't just because you were hurt, because like there's levels to the shit. Your relationship with your father, fucking the society that we live in, your friends, everything. There's an environment of shit that is in you that creates your mentality, that creates your action. I forgive that because I understand the mentality that you're in. Because we come from the same blood, we cut from the same cloth. I come from the same mentality that had me fucked up. But the fact that I've already gotten to that point, you're able to walk back into this point now, it is what it is. You changed. I get it. But you have to acknowledge that you changed. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people, because we're not paying attention to forgiveness the right way, and we're not approaching it in a way in which we have to understand why pain was inflicted on us, we'll never get to it. Because a lot of it is like when we turn the other cheek and we become passive and we become all this other stupid shit, it takes away your ability to actually functionally figure out what the fuck is happening to you. The nervous system responds to pain to let you know you're in danger. What do you do when you're in danger? You figure out why you're in danger so that way shit don't get dangerous again. You feel what I mean? But we don't take the time to actually learn why shit happens to us, why pains get inflicted. We just try to be stronger than we are. No, that's not how you're going to get strong. You're going to get strong by acknowledging how you were hurt and then figuring out, for one, not necessarily avoiding what pains you or either strengthening yourself to that pain. Michael Jordan is one of the greatest examples of that shit. The Pistons used to beat their motherfucking ass. What did he do? He didn't quit. He didn't just forget and say, okay, we're going to keep trying the same shit again. No, he forgave the pain that was inflicted. That ass whooping the Pistons gave him, he forgave that shit and he went in the gym. He locked in. He got bigger and shit. And what happened? You feel what I'm saying? What happened? He came back. He came back different. It was like, yo, he done put on some weight and shit. He was already phenomenal. And he came back. He realized how he now needed to involve himself with this type of mentality. Because this is the action that this mentality gives. You had to embrace that mentality. Sometimes a part of forgiveness is going to step it. Now, a part of forgiveness sometimes is stepping into embracing a mentality sometimes you have to embrace the mentality to battle the pain that you're going to keep allowing into your life. No, you have to realize why this pain was inflicted. And once you realize that shit, you realize these actions are going to continue unless that mentality change. Tying it back into the person I mentioned in the beginning. I know her mentality's changed. I can hear it in her voice. But she doesn't see that I see that. So she's going to try to dilute it and try to, no, just be honest. And it's hard to be honest because now you have to admit the part of the forgiveness is the apology. That's the other side of it. I don't need people to apologize to me, but people need to find the way to apologize to know that they're forgiven. And a lot of people won't apologize because they don't know how. She ain't got to apologize to me. I didn't let the shit go. I've forgiven it a long time ago. Like my pops, he never apologized to me. He doesn't have to. You know why? Because he's really changed. I can only fuck with people like I've reached a level of forgiveness within myself so well that I have boxed off energies. I ain't gonna say box it off as if compartmentalized, as if I'm suppressing shit. But when I understand the mentality of people and I sort of like For example, I say this so it can make some most sense. I don't drink. I don't drink, right? So because I don't drink, drunk shit doesn't bother me. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I can't be like, if you put a motherfucking alcohol bottle in front of me, I'm not gonna be tempted. It's not gonna be something I'm not thinking about it because I don't drink. Because that's the relationship I have with alcohol. I don't do it. When you forgive, you associate the relationship. How you have to when you forgive and you understand the mentality, you now create the association of this relationship. You feel me? When I forgive people and I forgive the energy or whatever it is, that energy, I don't fuck with that energy. I don't fuck with the energy that stems off of this mentality. So it doesn't come into my space. It doesn't even get entertained. It's it's that simple, but it's that complex. Because you have to be willing to say, now, you can't be in the space where you're going to make up the mentality for why they caused this thing. No, you have to really associate with this. Because when you say shit like, bitches ain't shit, what? No, that bitch wasn't shit. Figure out why. When you say niggas ain't shit, no, that nigga wasn't shit. Figure out why. That nigga wasn't shit to you. Like, we don't use that shit. We put a general statement on everybody. We say bitches ain't shit. No, we don't say that bitch won't shit to me. Why? Why wasn't that bitch shit to you? Now figure that shit out. I need closure. Sometimes you don't need closure. Sometimes you don't need to talk to that motherfucker again. All you have to do is replay the relationship. Nigga, that right there was where she says, that right there is where I should have known. That's where that mentality was. You feel me? Like when Shorty cheated on me and she said, and she's trying to convince me that I said, nah, you don't cheat on people. She was like, what do you mean? I said, you told me out of your own mouth you cheated on a man just so the relationship would end. Because you didn't want to break up with him. You told me that out of your own mouth. That's your mentality. Because actions, like I say, actions don't always speak louder than words. Sometimes you just wasn't listening to the words. You heard what the fuck was said. You overlooked it because you didn't see an action yet. So as she's, saying that shit, I'm like, yo, we can't do this again. But you gotta forget, I can't. You feel me? I didn't know at the time why I was saying I couldn't, but I knew that I couldn't. Because the mentality was saying, you fucked another nigga on me. Because now all I have to, now you really wanted to be done. And then the icing goes farther because then she gets pregnant and all this other shit. And it's like, wow, you really don't want to fuck with me no more. But then I had to look at the mentality. That's how this motherfucker was. I don't fuck with people like that. You feel me? When you show me the little things that, tell me the negative shit tell me the shit that conflicts with me that you laugh at, I know I can't fuck with you. When she said that she cheated on the dude because she didn't she laughed at it. Me and my arrogance, like, I'm that nigga, bro. She ain't gonna do no stupid shit like that to me. Nigga, this is what she does to men if she doesn't want to be in a relationship no more. She don't break up. She cheats. So I could forgive that. But I know that you're still in that mentality. You feel me? This is what we have to deal with when it comes to forgiveness. And it's that easy. You understand the mindset of why that pain was inflicted on you. You can't generalize that. And this is why y'all getting fucked up listening to all these Instagram podcasters and shit, because everybody's telling you the same shit. Oh, niggas ain't shit. No. I'm generalizing all niggas off of a motherfucker who did me wrong. Why did they do you wrong? Because sometimes forgiveness requires you to admit your contribution to why they fucked you up. What was the mentality of a motherfucker what was the mentality of a Let me ask this. What's the mentality of a taker? And how do they end up getting with givers? Everybody swears, I was a giver and they did nothing but take. Forgiveness is understanding why pain was inflicted. Did you allow them to take from you? If I'm a taker, you're a giver, and you allow me to take, why would I stop taking? My mentality is to take. So my action is to take. And I get it, as a giver, just take, but don't take. No, you can't tell me how much to take. You can't. I get it, people, and this is where boundaries comes in, because you can't tell my mentality, not how you can't tell me how I should act with my mentality, because it's my mentality. All you have to do is see how the actions of my mentality move within your world. That's where boundaries comes in. Because like, oh no, I see your mentality. You got to stop right here. You can't come in. Oh, you can't be here at all. That's the part of forgiveness that we don't want to set, because now when we realize why pain was inflicted on us, we have to really accept the full totality of why the pain was inflicted on us. And for a lot of us, we can't see And for a lot of us, we refuse to see how our contribution made us connect to the very motherfucker that wronged us. And don't forget to check out Cafe Clothing, formerly Just Scenes merch. Get all of your intricate designs crafted specifically for the melanated being to develop a positive imagery within self and to have a little bit of fun in the process. From the peace, love, knowledge, and freedom to the dead horses and water designs, all of the styles are crafted for the imagery to make you feel as you're supposed to feel. Because as I always say, the best way to fit in is to stand out. And what better way to stand out than with your exclusive styles from Cafe Clothing. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and end the motherfucker right there. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and end it there. Yeah, that's forgiveness. That is forgiveness. I don't think we really consider it the way it's supposed to be considered, yeah. And it's not on no funny shit. It's just the fact that we look at forgiveness from a perspective of reconciliation and just, I'm gonna be your friend again. No, nigga, forgiveness. I need to understand why you did this. Like, we've been yearning for forgiveness for a long time. That's why you seek closure. But you don't know that that's what you're seeking. You don't know that you're trying to figure out what the mentality of this person was and why they inflicted that action. You just trying to figure out, why did you do it to me? That's why you can't forgive nobody. You feel me? Because it's not a matter of why they do it to you. It's why they do it, nigga. They'll do it to anybody. And until you know why they do it to anybody, it shouldn't matter why they did it to you. You see what I'm saying? Like, tying it back into this point that I was making with the ex-girlfriend cheating on me. Like, I used to, like, why did you do this to me? It doesn't matter why she do it. She does it. The fuck? Like, I don't get why at the time. I mean, in hindsight, I can look back talking to myself, say, I don't get why you don't get it, but I knew why I didn't get it. Because, like, well, I was the good man. I was this, that, and the third. It didn't matter all the shit that you did. Their mentality was like that. That's who they were. This means that their actions were going to come out. Sometimes we put our own ego into the situation and we say shit like, well, it was me. No, it won't. It was them. You just allowed the catalyst to move. Their actions were going to do this anyway. It doesn't matter if it was you, them, that, the third. It doesn't matter who it was. This is who they are as a person. When I want shit, I want shit. It didn't matter who it was. You're not going to bring the shit out of me. Like, you're not going to bring good shit out of me if I ain't shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Women say shit all the time, like, the man is going to act right for the woman that he really wants. No. The man is going to change his mentality when he realizes his actions are problematic. As long as I don't have problematic actions, as long as I can tell myself my actions aren't problematic, they're not problematic. Women do this shit all the time. This is why that whole trope is going on where men is like, yo, women won't be accountable. Women lack accountability. Women won't be accountable. They don't have to be. Because in their mind, they're not wrong. That was the action they were supposed to do. You got to forgive that. And forgiving that by understanding the mentality. Now, and understanding the mentality doesn't mean you have to go in, because that's why you're not forgiving. You're going into the situation trying to be angry. Nah, I understand it. I don't fuck with this type of energy. The universe works so easily. Once you can compartmentalize some energy or where you need that energy to go, that energy is going to stay there in your life. If I say I do not like this particular type, or I do not like this type of energy or this type of mentality, or this, like, that energy can't come into your space. But you have to forgive it to be able to recognize it, because now when the mentality comes in, your unconscious, when it's so wired to your unconscious mind, can sense the energy before you even have to before you have to engage in friendship with it. Because now you start to live a life that is in accordance with you compartmentalize some shit you don't want in it. That's the power of forgiveness. A lot of us go back into the same situations that we was in, and we wonder why shit keeps going sour. Because if you truly forgive, you realize I cannot be a part of this particular energy, which means that I personally can't do anything to attract this energy. Back to the givers and takers thing. You motherfuckers can't open your mouth and say, I'm a giver. I'm a unbound giver. I'm a gracious giver. I'm a generous giver. And you get mad when you run into a copious taker. Shut the fuck up. You told the universe this is what you like, and you don't even like the shit. So the universe gave it to you. I'm a giver. I'm a free giver. I'm a careful giver. I give. And you keep running into people who take because this is your world. because you won't forgive the takers by understanding how you are connected to the taker. Because now you have to forgive yourself and understand how the pain was inflicted. The pain was inflicted because they took from me. Why they took from me? Because I gave without boundaries. Put boundaries up. You put boundaries up, shit changes. Just like fucking that. Just like that. I say it all the time and people be thinking I'm reaching, but I'm not. Karma stops when you want it to. This is how. The function of karma that people don't really understand is forgiveness. We so busy waiting on tit for tat. You feel me? You wait on karma to be, you think karma is meted out justice. No. Karma is the life that you create based off of what you forgive. You know, you're not supposed to forget shit. Never forget. Please don't forget. Please don't forget, but forgive by understanding how pain was inflicted. Understanding why the pain was inflicted on you and understand your contribution to that shit too. Because now you have to, and then you have to forgive yourself for understanding the pains that you inflict. Damn, I was fucked up. I did some fucked up shit. You feel what I'm saying? I did some wrong shit, but I had to forgive myself for it. And then forgiving, I had to understand, why am I inflicting this pain on people? This just the way I am. This is the way. I'm going to say this and I'm going to wrap it up. This same woman, this is how I know she changed. This same woman, when we first started talking initially, she was like, you just going to have to deal with this because this is who I am. And at the time I kind of did, because I wasn't privy to where I'm at right now. I was like, all right, well, you know, people would change, people would grow. Her mentality was already there. This is how I know she changed. She's not on that same energy. Rather than saying, yo, this is just the way I am, she said, yo, I just need to change. Like the first conversation we had, she said, yeah, I need to be in a different space now. Yeah, you changed. Because it went from, this is who I am, this, you just got to deal with it, to like, I'm tired of dealing with this version of myself. You can hear it in the voice. You see what I'm saying? But that comes from a level of forgiveness of yourself. Because now when you start realizing, I'm the problem. I ain't saying she was the problem in the situation, but I'm saying, like, when you can come to your terms and your own self and admit that you're the problem to something, that's when you can really start forgiving yourself. Why am I inflicting pain on people? Why am I inflicting pain on myself? Why do I inflict pain? That's how you start to understand, because now your mentality changes. I no longer want to inflict pain. I'm going to say this and I'm going to wrap it up. One of the reasons why people ask me why I don't fuck with religion anymore, because I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive the mentality of the shit that I did. And largely, a lot of it was tied to religion. So for me, I had to realize, damn, my life really did start getting fucked up when I started internalizing religious shit. And I'm still cleaning up the messes for the shit that I did when I was religious. You feel me? Going to med school, like failing tests and shit in class because I prayed as opposed to studying. You feel me? I get it. A lot of people say shit like, well, ain't nobody tell you to do that. Faith without worship, not that. Yeah, you say that shit until you're actually in the game. Because everybody wants to justify the external shit, but they don't want to look at the internal shit of the things that are crippling them. For me, religion was a crutch for me. It crippled me. So to forgive myself for that, I had to understand why I was inflicting something. A lot of it was tied to religion. Simple. A lot of the pains, a lot of the problems that are happening in the Black community are because of religion. And they can't forgive it because they can't fathom that the very thing that they told is all good is the worst thing for them. I had to realize that for myself. And now I can compartmentalize it because I also understand it. So when I tell people, oh, I just don't fuck with it, like, it is what it is. People be thinking I'm angry. No, I've forgiven it because I understand the pain that it causes me to inflict and the pain that it inflicts on me. In the name of religion, how many of our families have been damaged and broken? In the name of religion, how many of our boys have been left alone to figure themselves out at 13 years old because, you know, I can't do nothing with you, so I'm gonna leave you. And like, in the name of religion, like these are pains, my nigga. You got to forgive that shit. And forgiving, you have to understand the mentality of why it caused you to act a certain way. And I use that as an extreme because that's how I had to forgive myself, because a lot of the shit that I did was out of a religious mentality. It wasn't out of anything logical. And in removing that shit, it opened me up to actually be a real coherent thinker, to actually be a real humanistic person. A very humanistic person. Now I look at life differently. I'm like, okay. Life is good. But life now for me is more understood. Everything about me is like mentality. When I see a motherfucker do some shit, what do you think like? When I know what you think like, it's easy. It's easy to forgive you because now I can compartmentalize where I need you to be in my life. And are you a part of the things that my energy doesn't vibe with? Probably. And if I don't fuck with you, that's what it is. If I do fuck with you, it's because you're in a space that I've compartmentalized that is good because of the things that I have forgiven, because of the karma that I know that I created within the world. Forgiveness of other people is one thing. Forgiveness of yourself is a whole other, because you have to figure out simultaneously why you're inflicting pain on yourself and why you're inflicting pain on the world. A lot of times when we're inflicting pain on the world, we don't know that we're inflicting pain. When I was breaking these women's hearts, I was a single man, but when I was out here breaking these, I didn't give a fuck. Why? Because my mentality said, fuck these bitches. Your pain don't mean shit to me. That shit, I don't care how bad you hurt. Even if I inflicted the pain, it don't mean shit to me, because my mindset already says your pain is nothing to me. My mindset says you're nothing to me. Fuck bitches, get money. Money over bitches. I had all kind of affirmations. Bitches won't shit to me. So if I did anything to a bitch, my mindset, you're a bitch. The fuck? Who the fuck cares? You bitches ain't got no fucking feelings. Fuck y'all. Bitch. That's how I justified it, because my mentality was there, was generating my action. But the universe didn't give a fuck. It's cause and effect, nigga. You're going to do the shit that you may not realize how bad it is, but you're going to have to forgive yourself for the very atrocities you commit. It's not until motherfuckers have daughters and shit, that's when, oh, nigga, that's when I want to realize I was wrong. You've been wrong. You didn't give a fuck because your mentality never registered that you're wrong. See, the thing about our mentality is that we think is right. Our mentality is always right. You feel what I'm saying? The very shit that we internalize, that we justify, we think it's right. That's why we act that way. And we think our actions are right. And this is why we say shit like, oh, well, deity is not through with me. And this is why they give us religions, because they don't want us to realize what our mentality really is. Most motherfuckers that follow religions are not good people. They use the religion to justify their bullshit. As a motherfucker who did use religion to justify a lot of his bullshit, I see it. I know when bullshit is being justified. You feel what I'm saying? I know when bullshit is being justified. And when we start justifying bullshit, that's when it becomes hard to forgive. This is why you got to get around yes people. This is why you don't have real friends, because real friends you can forgive, because you got to understand why I'm telling you this negative shit. You're going to forgive me because you're going to understand why I'm inflicting this pain right now, because it's not painful. It's the truth. And tying it back into what I was saying about why motherfuckers lie. The truth hurts. Truth is pain. You can't forgive the truth. You know why? Because it causes you to change your mentality, which causes you to change your action. Lies keep you right where the fuck you at. That's why it's so easy. That's why the throat chakra is blocked by lies and truths, whether you know it's a lie or not. Don't matter. So I'm saying that to get into the mindset of really like asking yourself, how well do you forgive? Do you, when you say, think about all the things that you said you forgiven, do you understand why that pain was inflicted on you? If you don't, you did not forgive it. And that's why it's still looping in your life. You feel me? It's hard. The more you practice it, though, the easier it gets. Trust me. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. But when you go through some of the biggest shit of your life and actually sit and try to understand, why the fuck did you do this? Now, you can't do it from an angry perspective. You have to do it from understanding mentality. Why was this pain inflicted on me? And how was I how did I help catalyze this inflicted pain? This is how you get to onus. I talk about this in Soul for Real 3. This is how you get to onus, where you're not taking credit or blame. You're understanding the situation. And that's how you forgive. And forgive fully. Like, really look at yourself and say, hey, homie, this is not right. You feel me? Because the mentality is causing the action that is detrimental to my life. Whether it be my actions or the actions of others. That means the mentality is off. That means there's something imprinted in me that's causing me to think this is okay. That's what forgiveness is. And you're not always going to have an apology when you get it. But I'm going to go there. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And our kids know how to forgive. Our kids know how to forgive for real. And we make them stop forgiving, because when we do some wrong shit to them, they stop fucking with us. They'll stop fucking with us, and they'll tell you, oh, you did this, then the third to them, and we shut them up. Because we come from a culture that says, you ain't got no nerves. You ain't got no feelings. I've had family members that I told straight up when I was a kid, when I was young. And I got whooped and got in trouble for it. You don't talk to people like that. Why? Why? We teach our babies that it's disrespectful to stand up for themselves. Sit with that for a second. We really teach our babies that it's disrespectful to stand up to themselves to people who are disrespecting them. And then it shuts them down, shuts down their faculties. Babies know how to forgive. They know how to compartmentalize and realize, oh, you a fucked up person. And they'll tell you. That's why they always say the only people that tell the truth are drunks, old people, and babies. Babies because they don't have the experience to pacify themselves. Drunks because they lose their inhibitions. And elders, old people because all of the people that they used to please that they're scared of, they're no longer scared. They're no longer alive, so they can talk their shit. Everybody in between is caught up in some kind of rhythm where they don't know how to forgive. You feel me? And then not knowing how to forgive, you don't understand the mentality. But babies know how to understand how mentality affects their actions. Like, yo, you did this, that, and the third to me. Well, get over it. You a kid, this, that, and the third. No. Change your behavior. People say all the time, parenting doesn't come with a manual. It does come with a manual. The manual is a child. The behaviors that you change when your child presents it to you, that's the forgiveness. That's the parenting. I'm not talking about no frivolous, stupid shit of, oh, my child got mad because I ain't buying McDonald's. I ain't talking about no shit like that. When you actually hurt your baby, you disappointed your baby, you made them feel deep feelings that they feel resentment for. Change the behavior that caused that resentment. A lot of times we be thinking, oh, I'm still your mother, I'm still your auntie, I'm still your uncle, I'm still your father, I'm still this and the third. Did you change the behavior that made you hurt me in the first place? Why would I forgive you if you can't do that? Let's make sure our babies aren't continuing to go through that. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see y'all all when we come back for season 11. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.